So I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, northwest of Phoenix, near Wittman, Arizona, on an ugly washboard dirt road. I got my trailer hooked on behind because I am on a quest for cast iron. So I was going to upload a short, but I got no cell signal out here, so I'll bring you back when I got something to show you. Well, I wasn't able to do any filming once I reached my destination for privacy reasons. The gentleman was not comfortable, and that's fine. You know, people's privacy is important to them, and I want to respect their privacy and their property. But the guy was really cool. He gave me a nice tour of all of his goodies and the things he's going to be getting rid of. I will probably be making another trip out there because he's moving out of state. He's liquidating, downsizing, and he's having trouble selling stuff because where he lives, nobody wants to drive out there, you know, especially if they're in a nicer, newer rig. You know, my old truck's 23 years old. It's a good truck. It still looks nice, still has shiny paint, but hey, I bought it to haul and tow, and so I hauled and towed. So anyway, I reached the destination and spent 2 hours there going through everything. The guy was really gracious, you know. It was a Case Model D tractor he's using to tow his water wagon right now with. That'll probably be coming up for sale. I might be interested in that. A lot of hit and miss engines, a couple of really nice metal lathes, just a ton of stuff. He's been a decades-long collector. He belongs to the Arizona Early Days Gas Engine and Tractor Association up out of Apache Junction. Been a member there for years, and so he's been going to swap meets and collecting a long time. But at any rate, let me show you what we got. Hang on. So I survived my teeth-jarring trek out into the middle of nowhere desert on a one-lane washed-out track with lots of washboard and a one-ton dually towing a trailer. Man. And I was literally out in the middle of nowhere, no cell service, and the road got narrower and narrower. Well, I finally reached my destination and was there for 2 hours. Struck a deal with the guy over the item that I was there for, and then he just started adding on extra parts out of the goodness of his heart, because he said, trying to get people to come way out where he's at to, you know, for an ad on Craigslist. Nobody's coming, and he says, I don't want to scrap this stuff, you know. And he's selling out and moving out of state, and he didn't want to scrap the stuff, so I was a beneficiary. Well, as you can see, these tires are roached on the back of my Farmall H beyond use or saving. And the fellow was, was advertising tires for a Farmall H, mounted on Farmall H rims at a exceptional price. You can see years ago when these tires were purchased, you know, and they've been in storage ever since, but you can see the nubbins are still on them. There is some weather checking here and there just from age, you know, and sitting out, but certainly usable for the occasional parade duty and the occasional tractor ride and maybe even a tractor pull. So yeah, the old H is gonna get new skins. I've got new tires on a shelf in the shop for the front. I mean, these are brand new old stock, but they are weather checked. So they're gonna go on the front of the 8N Ford. Get rid of those goofball truck tires that somebody put on there and reverse the rims so they wouldn't rub. So these are going there, and then the new ones I have inside are gonna go on the front of the H. And I will have all good rubber. So I guess you get the idea by now that the H is next in the queue. Now, it'll be a long-term project. I got a lot of work to do it. I got the engine unstuck, but there's just a lot of unknowns. So I've got to A lot of work to do on this, but that's the next major project in the queue. I'll still be working on other smaller projects, you know, keep the channel moving. It's not just going to be one project. But since that greenhouse project is all finished, I can dedicate some time to my bucket list. And the Farmall H is my bucket list tractor. I had one years ago, and I loved that thing. I wanted to restore it and get it going. And at that time, we still had 4 kids at home with kids' expenses. And long story short, I ended up having to sell it to take care of priority family needs. Broke my heart, but I mean, my wife and kids are more important than iron. Iron you can always find and replace. You know, wife and kids you can't. And, you know, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. And at that time, I had to do that. Well, now I've got an H that I can dedicate some time and effort, maybe even a little money to. Well, I'm digressing here. The gentleman did not want to scrap all this other treasure. I have got a ton of Farmall H spare parts that have been sitting in his shed for years and years and years. Spare light bar, spare distributor. Now, it all may look like rusty junk to you, but hey, that tractor's a 1949 model, 74 years old. They ain't making them no more. So any kind of parts you can get, you grab them. And when you can get them for free, yeah. Governor assemblies, a spare electric box for the gauges and the light switches. Got a complete belt pulley assembly, 2 seat assemblies, 2 clamshell fenders in perfect shape other than surface rust, but I think they're actually for a case, probably a case D. Farmall H fenders have 1 center rib and support. This has got 2. And a friend of mine was over this morning. He was looking at them. He was pretty sure they were case also. The fella I got them from, he said he took them off an old Farmall M. I have no reason to doubt him. They'll fit. It's a flat top axle, and that's a flat plate mount. It should work. So, hey, I'm going to paint them red and put it on there, and only the aficionados of vintage Farmall know the difference. I got 2 Wisconsin AEH engines, which is marvelous because, you know, I've got an AEH on the little Road Treasure Gibson hiding in the shed over there. And I've got another AEH in pieces in the shop. I've had in pieces for a long time. It's my uncle's engine that ran a little wooden boat he had up in the Puget Sound decades ago. So that one has got good compression and a good snap on the impulse in the mag. That should be a runner. This one's not stuck. It turns over, but it ain't got much compression. So this will most likely serve as parts duty. And I got a nice round tank, which will make a good auxiliary tank to run stuff off of that I'm working on. And right now I'm thinking about that the man behind the curtain Chinese diesel engine I drug home when I went on that road trip with my pal Larry to pick up that Worthington golf course tractor. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm sharing my treasure trove with you. Probably all rusty junk to you guys, but to an old iron guy like me, man, that is worth its weight in gold. I got great rubber to go on the H. Now the last thing I need to do. Yep, the portacool's running. It's first part of May. It's going to be ambient temperature outside. It's 86 degrees, so I'm cooling the shop. And as you can see, I'm insulating my skylights in the ceiling. These things are great in the wintertime, but in the summertime, you are like an ant standing under a magnifying glass, you know, with the sun straight overhead. So, yeah, they're great in the wintertime, but boy, in the summertime, the portacool has to work overtime. I mean, that thing keeps up, but you gotta have it pointed right at you when you're working in here. So I bought the reflective insulation material. I'm just gonna cover those things up. But the Porta-Cool earns its keep. And yeah, it's running today. The shop's nice and comfortable. So the plan is to clean all this up, get it organized. Some of it's going to get moved out of here because the H is going on that side of the shop, where I'm going to strip her down and start working on it. See if we can make a running, moving, viable tractor out of it. So there you have it, folks. That's the latest and greatest, what I'm up to. I had a successful road trip, brought home lots of treasure, didn't break the bank. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Welcome new subscribers. I've picked up a few more. Glad you're here. Thanks for tagging along. To all my existing subscribers, as always, thanks for hanging around. We will see you real soon on the next one. Bye for now.